and welcome to the Kitchen Knitter podcast. My name is Suzanne, the Kitchen Knitter, and this is my little space on YouTube where I share with you what I've been knitting. So this is more of an update as usual. I've been fiddling with the camera and I think I've got you square on. My tripod is falling to pieces. I need to buy a new one, and every now and again the camera, it's my phone, and it tips around. So but I think I've got you squared in. Yeah. So I haven't finished anything. I haven't really started anything either. I've been focusing on trying to finish what is already on my needles. I have a few things. Some things I've gone off knitting socks. A bit fed up with knitting socks. I have got a pair. I've got a few pairs on the needles, but I haven't done much with them. However, I've made progress with my Temperate jumper, which I was knitting. It is a pattern by Kim Hargreaves in, hang on if I get the big picture there. It's in this book called Still, and it's this one. And you can see it's got like a frilly bottom and frilly cuffs, and you cast on hundreds of stitches, and then over the next 2 rows cast off, and you get that little frilly bit, which is like that. There, like that. This is the second sleeve, and I really wanted to have it all kind of half sewn up so I could show you properly. I'll try and do it as it is. So I've got a back, I've got a front. It's quite a wide neck. When I saw it, I thought, oh, those are very narrow shoulders. But if you look at the schematic, the shoulders are quite narrow. So that's like the back and the front. And I've got a sleeve. So, hang on. There we go. So if I do it like that, you kind of, where's the sleeve gone? There we are. It's there. There. It's kind of gives you an idea. And up to now, I'm very pleased with it. I've just got to finish this sleeve. The thing I'm holding back on is, and that sleeve, that bit there, looks really quite shallow. I know it's narrow. It's a wide neck and it's narrow, and it may be not so much a drop sleeve, but it's here. But I don't know, that doesn't look, see, I'm just not confident enough with my judgments. So I'm going to finish this second sleeve, which is on the needles, and see what it looks like. And if they both look the same, well, that I've obviously followed the pattern properly. But this, so I'm really pleased with it. I think this will be actually something I wear if it's not too tight. But yeah, really pleased with that. And the little frill at the bottom. Sorry about all the ends. There we are. It's not there. But there we go. And you knit this on 3mm needles. You do the very first 3 rows where you're casting lots on and then casting off. You do those on 2 3/4, and then it's 3mm needles. So it is and it's what I prefer. It's quite a fine. I'm not quite sure what this colour is. 422, and it's a sort of a lavendery grey rose colour. Very hard to describe. It's very pretty though. But I would wear that. And there's not much else to say about that really. But that's my progress. So hopefully it won't be long before I've finished it. And it's residing in my redesign bag. I had everything nicely folded up, and now it's all just been pushed back in. So that's one thing that I've done. I sort of knit on this in the evening because it is just plain. As long as I remember to do the increasing on the sleeve, and what I do is I stick a little bulb pin at the end, because I'm very good at casting on increasing the stitches at the beginning of the row, but at the end I forget, and so I've got a little bulb pin there which I move up. I've been moving up the up the sleeve, and that reminds me that I've got to cast on at the other side as well, because invariably I end up with one stitch less than I should have. So that's that. I've got quite a few balls left because I bought this to knit something else and then changed my mind. When I'm knitting in pieces, I do think, oh, I'm going to sew this together. I don't mind sewing. And then when I'm knitting it all, and I'll show you now with the next thing I'm knitting. So that's that one. That's nearly finished. That I should be finished the weekend, I think. If I just focus on that. My glasses. So this one, no, I'm not so sure about this one, and I think it's my choice of yarn. I'm knitting, and I can't remember how far on I was when I first showed you this. I'm knitting this, the Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit, and it's the call for yarns are Isaiah yarn or silk mohair, tin silk mohair by Sanders Garn, or soft silk mohair from Knitting for Olive, or Tilia by Phil Kalana. And I'm not using any of those. It's a Sanders Garn, but I'm using this, and it's alpaca, but it's lace. So I've been holding them double, and it's the most beautiful grey. It is 1032. I'll show you, because I might be because it's in Norwegian, so I might just farge. How do I do farg? I don't know how you pronounce that. But those are that, and it's the dye lotters there as well. And it doesn't give a gauge. You just get that little thing there, because it is something that you knit with something else, and it's obviously it's lace, and it's gorgeous and soft. It's beautiful. However, I've been knitting. Oh, right, here we are. And I've separated for the sleeves. Show it to you there. I've separated for the sleeves. They're on old-fashioned stitch holders, which I'm finding a bit awkward actually. I think I might use just a piece of yarn and thread it through. It's all a bit clumsy. So anyway, that's what it looks like now. And I don't know, I think it looks like an old dishcloth on there, but it could be that because it's all scrunched up on the needles, and that's I just think it's a lot easier to show things when it's been knitted in the round, but I'm not making a good fist of this. And there's the V-neck. So we're now knitting down from the V-neck, and then you'll go back and it's an I-cord edging. So knitted sleeves, and that's the raglan increases there. See, it's all kind of a bit, I don't know, I'll show you the back. Can you see the back? It's all a bit kind of higgledy-piggledy and wobbly, sort of. But I think that's what you're knitting them on 4.5mm needles, so it's a very loose gauge. It's very, so I'm hoping, I mean, it's lovely and soft. It's not going to be itchy at all, but I don't know, I'm thinking, have I made the right yarn choice? Because I don't normally do that. I normally knit with the call for yarn. It's been thought out for you. Why change? But I've looked at that and thought that's what I want. I want that style, and I quite like that colour too. But I had this that I really needed to do something with, so I thought, I know, I'll have a go with this and see. So I mean, there's a bit of me thinking, as I'm showing it to you now, it doesn't look that bad. I'm showing, oh, that's upside down now, isn't it? You see, that's the thing. I'm showing it upside. There we are. Oh dear, I think I'd never done this before. There we are. So I'm thinking it looks okay. And then when I'm knitting, I'm thinking, oh, this looks like a dishcloth. It just looks. So hopefully it will, if I block it, and very carefully, it just might look like a jumper rather than an old dishcloth. So we'll see. So yeah, you knit the two together on 4.5 needles, and oh, there's a bigger picture. Oh, it's the back. I'll take my post-it notes off to myself. Yeah, and that's the back. I mean, it's a very simple, classic jumper, and that is my style. That sort of just classic, simple, no fuss. So there's a bit of me wanting to carry on with this, but every now and again I put myself off it because of the way it looks. So I'm going to persevere. I've got 6 balls of these. This should be enough. So it's a really, really long meterage, I think. Yeah, 400 meters for 50 grams. 50 gram balls means 400 meters. So that's quite a lot, isn't it? So I should be able to get that out of that. So that's the other one. Again, I can once now I've split for the sleeves and I'm not doing any more raglans, then I can just knit. So there's 2 sort of in the evening, not having to think about too much. I can't watch television and knit. I can watch television or I can knit. So I sort of sit there, perhaps if the football's on, and I sit in the corner, so I'm not looking at the television screen, and I can just knit away and not. I can listen to what's going on, and my husband, you know, giving his opinion on things, and but carry on. Yeah, and that's living in my other redesign. I do like these bags. It's lovely squishy leather. My other redesign. This is the number 13, I think. Just like a clutch, but it's got lovely pockets inside, and it's room. It's got pockets either side, and the signature thing for the knitting needles. And I think if I show you too, it's going to fall out. Yeah, it's got pockets at the side. Oh, that's where my glasses went. There. Oh, right. I buy easy readers. I've actually been to the opticians and got proper glasses now, but I was using easy readers, and the idea was to have a pair of glasses in every room. Doesn't work like that. They all end up in one room. So the other thing that, and I'm not sure I've done anything since the last time I showed you on this one, because again, I'm thinking, do I like it? I'm knitting. I'll show you what I'm knitting. I'll show you the pattern first, what it should look like. I mean, it's lovely. I looked at this pattern and thought, yes, I want this. And it is a pattern by Knit. I'm not even going to attempt. And that's the cardigan. It's a boxy round neck cardigan. And I thought, with the kind of style of dress I wear, that I would wear that loads. So, and I'm using the Cowl yarn, which is Sanders garn. Well, no, that's not true. I'm not using it. You knit it. I'll tell you what the Cowl yarn is. It's Sanders garn Sunday, held with Sanders garn tin silk mohair. Now I've got the Sunday, and it's in dark olive, and I bought dark olive, so I'm copying it to the letter. Sunday, but I chose this. I bought this yarn from Tangled Yarn. I bought all the yarn from Tangled Yarn up to now, and they didn't have the tin. I think that's how you pronounce it. The tin silk mohair in dark olive, and that's what I wanted. I wanted that colour. So I've got this, which is the same as the grey, and this is dark olive, which is 9873. I'll show you because I might be reading out the wrong thing. The longer number normally is the dye lot, isn't it? So you hold those two together like that, and you're knitting on what size needles are these? I think they're 4mm needles. If I can, suggested needles, yes, 4mm needles, but you need a 3 and a 3.5 because things are going to get tricky. It's not that simple. The button band there is double knitting. I've never done double knitting before. but from the comments from my last podcast, it's not as difficult as I always approach everything as if it's going to be far too difficult, and I'm always pleasantly surprised that actually I can do this. So let me show you. So there we go. I've stopped in the middle of a row, which is not good, but that's, see again, it's all scrunched up on the needles, but that's the sort of fabric of things, and it's a very fine raglan increase with that's the sleeve. So I'm not ready to separate for the sleeves yet, but you've got a raglan increase there, and then you've got a bit of shaping in the middle of the sleeve, and then you've got another raglan at the back. So that's the sleeve. That's the sort of the fabric of knitting those two yarns together. It's very nice, and the colour's gorgeous. It's coming out quite paler here. It is an olive green. It's coming out a bit paler, but it's a beautiful day here in South Leicestershire. Absolutely gorgeous. Got bright blue sky, but I've been moving around the kitchen here to try and do this podcast, where nothing's blowing out. Anyway, it's a lot lighter on camera than it is in real life. It is a beautiful olive green, dark olive green, and yeah, you knit them on. You've got at least 3 size needles. You knit to begin with. I think you knit to begin with on the 3.5, and then you come down onto the 4mm needles, and then you must use one of the other needles for the cuffs and the button band. So we'll see how I get on with that. Again, I'm at the sort of knit stage. I think it's the double knitting bit that's going to go for it, and I'm keeping it in this lovely bag from Paula, who's stitched by Mrs. D. This beautiful vintage fabric. It's gorgeous, beautifully made. I use it more as a pouch than a thing. I took I took them out because I thought, I think I could make this into a cushion. Then I thought, no, I want to use it as a bag. So I haven't put the strings back in, but actually I just fold it over like that, and it works, and it's lovely. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fabric. So that's the other thing I've been knitting on. I've left my knitting on. Is that a knitting on? Is that focusing on? Sounds better. I'm just going to. I've left my other stuff over here. Excuse me 1 minute. I'll just plonk that on there, and I'll show you. I've made a little progress on a pair of socks, which I think I showed you last time. I can't remember. Again, they're in a lovely little sock bag by Paula, stitched by Mrs. D. This is gorgeous. It's like a velvet. It's beautiful. So I am knitting a pair of socks from the Wool Barn. Now I like their socks because the pattern is always at the top of the sock, and then it's just knit down to the bottom. I'll show you they're called the Ride socks. See the pattern? It's there. Lovely. And I'm using one of the Cowl 4 yarns. They're not dyeing any yarn anymore, so the Wool Barn normally uses the Wool Barn's wool. Why am I showing you that? But these socks are knitted in, and it's a Norwegian wool, I believe, or Danish. Hang on, just let me get the ball band. Here we go. Oh, I think I've got a whole one. Yes. Scrunch the other one up. So I'm using this yarn, brushed Armonia, which is one of the Cowl 4 yarns. The other one was the Superfine Merino in here to I've no idea how you pronounce it. I'll show you. It's there. And it's a gorgeous taupey, mushroomy colour. It's gorgeous. And I think the colour is 1210. It's not the colour they used. It was light beige or light brown. I don't know what colour this is. And I got it from an independent wool shop based in Harrogate called I can't remember. That's awful. Because I did have the little card. Something knit. I can't remember. And they were very quick, very lovely, very quick to send it on. So I want to say Lunit, but that's the previous pattern. But it's something short and sweet like that. It probably isn't. So I've done it's cuffed down. I've done that, and that's the pattern. And you do a twisted rib for the cuff. And I'm at the point now where I knit on 9-inch circulars, but to do the heel, which I've started there, I use DPNs. I follow the advice of Winwick Mum. And when she does her vanilla socks, the pattern is for 9-inch circulars, and then she goes on to a DPN for that, and then I go back onto the circulars and I cast on. I'm doing the other sock as well. I think this might quicken me up a bit if I do 2 socks in sort of in tandem. So I've started I'm just going to put these on. I think I've done 3 rows. Then I'll put them on 9-inch circulars and then knit down, and then you just have to put a little stitch in at the side. But this is gorgeous yarn. It's made up of wool superwash and nylon, but it's I don't know if I showed you that bit. Super fine merino, and I'm guessing, does it say that there's somewhere where there's a flag? I think it's Norwegian. I think it's Norwegian. Because no, it's not. It's Danish. I can see a little bit of there saying Denmark. It's Danish. So that's my progress on these socks, on the ride socks. But I don't know. I fall out of love with socks. But it's a handy little project to have. I mean, we went away a few weeks ago to Spain for a few days. We've got family who live there. We went to stay. We were there for about 5 days, and I took some knitting, but I didn't do any at all. So I didn't do any stitching either. All I did was read. What was the other thing I did? That was good. I read 2 books. I started to read. I'm late. I know I'm late to the party because there's about 8 books out now. The Robert Galbraith strike novels, and I've read the first one, The Cuckoo Calling, and now I've got The Silkworm. I started The Silkworm, and I also read another book, which the barbecue at number 9. I bought it in the airport, so it's a paperback, but it's airport publication. They call them some serious but it's not. I don't think it's out in paperback just yet, and that was okay. It was an easy read. It flowed, but it wasn't. But I did enjoy the strike novel, and I've now got the second one to read, Silkworm. Like I say, I am very, very late to the party. The other book I read and I enjoyed was Janice Hadlow's latest one, and I can't for the life of me think what it's called, but it's she wrote The Other Bennett Sister, and of course it's been on the television lately as well, and that was very good. I loved that. I love a period drama on a Sunday. Absolutely loved it. But I mean, it was very well done, but it was lovely, and the book was very good, really very. I read the book first, and the dramatization stayed pretty much true to the book, which is good. and she has written another book. I think it's still out in hardback, and the name escapes me, but it is based on Eliza. I can't remember her title now, that's awful, but she was the sister of the Duke of Devonshire, and it's based around Chatsworth and Derbyshire, and but she goes off to Italy. So it's a lovely book. It's lovely. I borrowed that from the library, so it was on reserve, so I had to take it back. And the other one I read, again from the library, and again it was on reserve, so I had to return it as soon as I finished it, was Anne Tyler's A Wedding in June. And it's 3 days, I think it's called A Wedding in June. I should make notes, I should. But it's 3 days, the run up to a wedding, from the point of view of the bride and the bride's mother and their sort of near relatives. It's very good. It's very good. It's a novella. It's not terribly long. But Anne Tyler, she writes lovely books. I can't think of anything else I've read lately. I've been reading some gardening books because we're in a new build and we're building a garden from scratch, but slowly but surely. I've got a lot of seeds going, and because I don't know if you can't see it, I've got a greenhouse shed. I don't know if I can. I don't know if you can see it from this side. No, I don't think you can, because it's no, and you're going to fall off my breadboard now. But somewhere out there is a shed. It's a shed and greenhouse combination. And my husband has the shed bit and I have the greenhouse. So I've got loads, and I've been potting on as well. I've been trying to do it properly rather than just put clumps in the ground and hope for the best. So I've been potting on, so I've got absolutely loads. All my cosmos came up, Cosmos Purity and Larkspur. So we're kind of doing a cottage garden. So this isn't a gardening podcast, and I've gone off on a tangent. Right, so last time I podcast, I said I wanted to knit, and it was a make-along, and it was the Hedgerow mystery knit-along, not a make-along, a mystery knit-along from Helen Stewart Curious Handmade, and you had to choose your yarns, and then over a course of, I think, 4 weeks, you got a pattern emailed to you every week. Now, that was the sort of sample of what might be suitable for. I mean, the shawl is now, it's finished now, the make along, the mystery knit along, I should say, knit along, and so I think there's some up on Instagram. Tink Hinkman put up a beautiful, I think she's called Deb, put up a beautiful, she had done the test knit and it was gorgeous. And those are the suggested kind of colours. And I was feeling quite pleased with myself because I chose 3 colours from an advent from Camel's Yarn, these 3 beautiful skeins of yarn. You got 5 in the advent, but you only needed 3, and I thought, I can do, and I was really pleased with myself. And as I'm knitting along, I don't know what, I can't remember what I looked at, but I was using DK yarn, and I should be using fingering. And I stopped knitting it. I thought, no, I'm going to have to repurpose this yarn. So I wanted it to be tonal colours. I didn't want variegated. I don't have much variegated yarns because I would only knit socks with them anyway, and I haven't got that much. So I went on the internet and I had a look through, and I chose yarns from West Green Loft Yarns, and I chose these 3. And they are, this is truffle, and this is 4-ply fingering. Yeah. And it's the 100% traceable wool. This is olive. And this one is tea rose. I really wanted blush, but it was out of stock. I think I was ordering this at the time that Vicky, who is the dyer behind West Green Loft Yarns, was doing a yarn show in Scotland. She's moved up to Scotland now, and there was a yarn show, and she was getting ready for that, so her shop was a bit replete. But I managed to get these. These are, yes, it says it's hand dyed in the Highlands, but it is the flock, wiggly flock, and it's 100% traceable. But it's not too toothy, it's nice. So I'm going to go with I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to do it A, B and C. That's what I'm going to go with. A, B and C. And I know you knit. I'd started knitting it. I think I got about 5% done or something. And you start with A and B, and you knit them, if you like. You do a couple of rows of one and a couple of rows of the other, and then you bring this one in, and then you come back to this one. So it's not set stripes, but the little examples I've seen on Instagram are absolutely lovely. So I'm going to use that. And now that my husband has fixed my Swift, I'm tripping over my words today, I can get these balled up. So that might be on the needles next time I come and do a video. And the other thing is, what popped up Instagram was this cowl, and it's by Liz Cork, and it is the storeworm, and it's a cowl, and I love that pattern, but I also love those colours as well. So I went on, the original called for is from Eden Cottage Yarns, and it's the Keld fingering in heathered crags. But again, I think I was looking when there was some yarn shows on, and it wasn't on the website. So I had a little bit of a smooch around all the dyers, and I bought this from Les Family Yarn, and this is called Acorn Woods, and it's gorgeous. It's coming up a little brighter on the camera, but it's this gorgeous, and I think it's as near as damn it to the colours in that. They're very muted. So this is superwash merino and nylon. It's a sock yarn, but I just think that's a bit better. Gorgeous colours, sort of tea. It's not a teal, it's a very soft green, sort of a, I don't know what you call that. And then there's mushroom and mushroomy pinks, and oh, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I bought 2 of these because I think I might either make a pair of socks or a pair of wrist warmers. But I'm going to knit that cowl, and it's you knit them on 3.5, and obviously you do it in the round. So I think that might be quite nice to sit inside a coat for the winter. Well, that's it. That's my knitting plans and what's on my needles for this time. Hopefully, I will certainly finish my Temperate sweater. This one. I'll have definitely finished that, and hopefully I'll be a bit further on, because I've got some plans for other things. I've got some patterns and things I'd like to knit, because I don't do too much summer knitting, cotton things. So I shall be knitting for perhaps the autumn, because it'll take me that long, and I should be back with a stitching episode in a few days. I've been doing some cross stitch and some embroidery, and a little bit of sewing. So I should have something to show you in a couple of days. Well, that's it. Well, thank you for watching. If you got this far, thank you. And thank you for subscribing and leaving such lovely comments. And I do my best to answer them and try not to say the same thing over and over again. Yes, thank you. I hope you're all well and enjoying this spell of lovely weather. Although it is, there's a chilly wind. Although for the last few mornings I've been having my breakfast in the garden when it's nice to sit in the sun. But after that I don't sit in the sun. But it's been very, very pleasant. And I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.